Talking about survivability, we're like the anchor of it. They were like, all these weird people are coming through here. It's due. Yeah, we didn't even used to go turn left. And you could go left at the end of the block. It was not cool over there. We survived the riots and COVID at the same time. Like, that part was fucking wow. And like, we saw, like, all these theaters kind of nationally going under, and we're still hanging out strong. It's very fucking cool, man. What an amazing place. The stage, blood, sweat, tears, semen. No, we did pretend to poop on a person once. We pretended to throw poop in a lady's face. Fucking man.
Times.
Shit, it was part of the show. It wasn't like a weird. We're not doing any. I'm not part of any weird sex club stuff that goes on here. I'm not saying that exists. I'm not saying that it doesn't exist. If it is, I'm its boy. At least for a watch. Amazing art comes out of here. Just the community you've grown is incredible. The comedy community that's sprung forth is incredible. They say the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. It flies here. The other two theaters are like 10 blocks away. They didn't even leave the neighborhood. Like your kids grew up and moved next door. Cool, man. So I guess the plan is to let everybody talk for a little bit, share some memories, and to share a good time. We don't have a list, so I guess, do we have a list? No.
Oh, yeah, the people did RSVP, but I mean, no specific order.
All right. Yeah, you can go first, Tony. You've been here a while.
I just want to say that's bullshit about you not being some sort of weird photo. Humping me right here. This part of the stage. You recall?
That's true. Yeah.
Do you
You have the book.
I think it's on my Facebook.
I'm Anthony Boehner. I started taking classes when we were at the Studio Gallery and finished up here. I think I was like in this third graduating class. I don't know. My first time watching the show, it was at Studio Gallery. I saw a film called Sitcom. Now, to me, the sitcom were like the Rolling Stones of Omaha Improv. They were a team full of killers. And, I never laughed so hard. And, finally, classes, okay, I want to do that. So I did it. Eventually, I ended up being on that team, sitcom, with, I don't know, there's a lot of pressure. I'll tell you that much. Other than that, just great memories here. Remember at Omaha Improv Festival, there was a big after party. Dylan rented a hotel suite, Marriott on the road here. And just lots of people. I remember rolling a blunt, hitting it, passing it, and just watching it. Never saw that one again.
Still waiting for it.
And at the time, I was performing here. My son was in middle school. And he would always get in trouble. His teacher would call him, like, hey, your son's goofing around class too much. So at the time, Dylan offered a team class. So I'm like, I went to my son, I'm like, look, motherfucker, you're gonna act like that in school, I'm signing you up for this class. You're gonna learn to channel this elsewhere. So I sent him to this teen class twice. He's grown up. He's a cop now. But yeah. Other than that, oh yeah. Mentioned the sitcom. I was part of the documentary, several teams. But let's not forget one of the greatest teams to come out of Backline, the sand volleyball team. We ran the table and the levers in reverse. 0 wins under losses. Yeah, I mean, that's it. If you're taking classes, if you're performing, what you're doing is important. This place is important. I think Dylan really understands his importance to this city, to this community. Yeah.
Yeah, for next grade.
Listen here, you shits. My name is Eric Green. I am a. Founding seems weird because it felt like founding means I did more. But I was one of the first backline students. Literally before it was even Studio Gallery, it was literally sitting in Megan and Adam's apartment, going, hey, we should, Dylan walking up to us sitting going, I think we can do improv here in Nebraska. And we're all like, sure, we're theater kids with nothing better to do, let's do it. And Nick Rowley was there, Will Munden was there. I feel like I'm just gonna reminisce for half an hour here, sorry. But we then went and were taken to the Studio Gallery, where we all thought immediately we were gonna get murdered. Rickety, like, I'm a large guy, Adam Nathan was a fairly large guy, and so we were kind of like, we gotta fix those now. Where it really wasn't very well soundproofed. So if you were waiting on a show while the other show downstairs was doing a warm-up called Bunny Bunny, it sounded like a ritual casting. It definitely felt like a cult was occurring, and there was. And it decided to branch off into 2 other theaters, less than like a couple blocks away, according to Dylan. I mean, we're in Blackstone, but I guess that is walking distance. That being said, like I said, performed at Studio Gallery, performed when it was over here in the warehouse stages, where we found the meth lab in the back room. We were sure it's a meth lab. It was barrels and hazmat suits. We weren't exactly sure. Then there was one night where we decided when we were doing the arena, back when we were doing themed arenas, we would do drunk versus stone. And I was on the stone team. And so the stone team went down to the basement of this location, which was the first time I was down there ever. And boy, the murder dungeon feeling came back. That's delightful to do when you're high. And so, of course, then the next time, I was like, I'm not going to be on this, I'm going to be on the drunk team. And I definitely got too wasted. I went over to Wilson and Washburn and did what I called the revolver, the shot I made, which was Jack, Jim, Jose, Captain, a shot of someone else's choosing and a shot of my choosing, which was Jaeger. I don't remember what the bartender chose for me, but it was strong. Had 2 of those, rolled back over, started to keep going. Then by the end of the night, I decided to walk over to the verdict and puke in the driveway. And yet that wasn't enough to keep me from drinking. Something else happened, but I'm now 2 years sober. Hell yeah. That being said, coming back to this place, it is amazing. Again, I made kind of what I call mercenary shots where I kind of, every once in a while someone goes, hey, you want to perform here? And I'm like, sure. Every time I come into this room, it astonishes me every time with a new improvement, and that is really, that speaks to not only Dylan as a organizer, but the people in the room who worked through tirelessly, going through the riots, going through the pandemic, going through whatever the hell is happening outside right now. That speaks to the strength of you guys, because the one thing he has never ran out of is good people. In my opinion, good people attract good people. And that's testament to Dylan, Todd, everybody here. So, thank you guys so much. I will stop being that terribly weepy, and I'll give this back to you.
Give it over, Jessica!
Everybody. I was in the second class, and I always think of improv as playing pretend with my friends in a creepy basement. That's how it started. And, I remember being at a party and meeting Dylan, and I asked him what he does, and he said that he's opened up this improv school, and I'd never thought about doing improv before, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I could do that. So I took the class, and I just kept going, and this Coliseum, my friends did this, donated $2,000, I think was the threshold, for when this theater started opening, and he got his name on the wall, and he got free classes for life, and he gave them to me because he had no desire to do improv. So every now and then, I take a class. Workshops are not free, but I take this. I was very involved back in the day, and less so now, and I want to get back into it because I see so many new faces here, and it's amazing to see what this school keeps churning out, and people coming back, and people doing shows, and yeah, I remember the ladder. Do you remember the ladder? And the ladder stayed there even though people were using it, and you were unhappy. Leaning against that wall, and it made it into a lot of shows. And then the team that I was on, it was mostly made up of people from the second level. It was all women. We called ourselves pH balanced. And oh, this is my proud moment. Nick Rowley, Bill Minen, and Dylan were on a team. I can't remember what you were called.
2.5 Men.
2.5.
I remember that.
No, it was Three's Company. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. We had 2 teams then. I think.
And I remember I was still I was in second level, and PH Balance beat them, and that was my problem. But a lot has come out of the school. Big Canvas came out of the school, and yeah, and it's an amazing thing that happened in Omaha. But thank you, Dylan. Thank you for creating something great that brings a lot of people together.
Yay.
The rule is you're allowed to use the ladder, but not as a ladder.
Yeah.
It could be a giant cell phone. You can pretend like you're about to climb it. It's great bits. Yeah. Come on, Harry. You're good, man.
Please don't annoy me.
Hey, everybody, hey, Danny, good to see you. I just want to talk about me for a little bit. Seriously, like, you want to talk about me, but as it relates to Dylan in the backline, it's a very personal journey for me to be here talking to you now, but being on stage talking to groups of people in general is something that never, a wildest dreams imagined that I'd ever do. I mean, I have a whip and palate, which makes it difficult. Growing up, people were always asking, what? So basically, I had to you know, I was introverted by force, but I don't think I'm a true introvert. I think I like people, I talk and having fun, but I was always uncomfortable. Anyway, so now that you know that I'm dealing with that, also an artist. I paint, and I had a studio gallery back in the day. I had one of the studios there, and I noticed like people started going down the basement, and me and my other studio partners would be painting and getting drunk and stoned upstairs. And they're having a good time down there, you know? And we didn't really know what they were doing. I didn't know anyway. I don't know why I didn't know, but maybe I just wasn't sure. It was the first month or something. So one day I was there, it was like a Sunday or something, and there were people down there. I thought, I'm just gonna go to the back of the class, see what's up. And I think Eric might have been there. And this is just the honest to God's truth. I'm not trying to be like funny or anything. I really thought it was like a Eaters Anonymous type thing. Just to be fair, I'm not trying to bust on anybody or anything. I'm just saying they were doing not soliloquy. You know how you do monologues when you come on stage and set it up. So they're practicing that. So I thought there was all like serious, like, personal story. Because a lot of it had to do with food too, by chance. Anyway, I'm really not trying to bust on anything. And Will came up and said, Dave, what are you doing, man? Why don't you join the class? And so Will Lyman, if you don't know who he is, he's part of the beginning. But I finally got convinced to take a 101 class, a level 1 class. And because they said, it's just going to be fun. Nobody knows what they're doing. Don't care. Don't worry about it. And I did. And another background story is I was going through a divorce at the time. So all of my friends were connected to my wife and the art community and all that. I had really to kind of get beyond that by seeing other people, by meeting other people, by doing other things. And improv happened to be the thing. And I think I did that for like 5 years. It got me through like hard times, the awkwardness of like meeting new friends. It was so easy here, especially if you're all beginners and you're just starting. If anybody's out there just starting. It's like such a great community, like-minded people, the sense of creatives, want to have fun and jokes. But here's another thing about me, is I was older than a lot of the younger people that I came back on. They're in their 20s, I was like in my 40s. So I was a little bit worried about how I would fit in, but it was cool. We would go to the green room and everybody, you know, age doesn't matter that much. But I guess the point of all of this is that it got me out of my shell. Being able to talk in front of other people, especially large audiences, relatively large, it's gotten bigger. Like all these seats here, it's amazing to me how big this place is compared to how it began. And so I just want to thank Dylan for making this happen. All these incredible people I've met over the years and some great friends. Such a rock. He's been things cool to see how you developed your comedy over the years. Tony is another dude that it's been great to know, and all kinds of memories. And I will say this about, I'll tell you this too. I've done stuff on stage that I never, in my wildest dreams, imagined either. Not just vocalization part, scenarios that you create in your mind. I mean, at that time, I had no knowledge of comedy at all, except my own personal comedy, which is usually about sex and drugs. So all my scenes are like, I'm either fucking somebody, getting fucked, taking some drug, getting tripped out. And I thought that was like, oh, funny. But I eventually learned it's more like sex and drugs. So, thank you, Dylan. I think you're the best. I think so highly of you. You're an amazing man. Amazing comedian, so skilled, and you persevered. And God, I don't know how you do it, but you did it. You are doing it, and anybody that knows him probably feels the same way. And we're just blessed to have you, Mama. So thank you to everybody here.
Yeah, they're wild, but I remember distinctly the scene he started off jacking off into a toilet. Robert, next go. Robert, you wanna go?
Oh, sure. Okay, we set the stage. 2016, I had just moved to Omaha like 3 months prior and was working at the Rose Theater with Chloe, who we all know. And, Chloe, okay. And Ashley at the time. And a friend there, Katie Kepler, said, "Hey, you like improv, right? There's a theater like 3 blocks away." And we looked on the website, like, "Oh, we did intensive. We could just go and do improv." So I convinced Chloe and Ashley to do it with me. And we're coming up on our 10th year anniversary, and we're like still doing the thing. And it's wild because I remember my very first not class show was in Arena. Dave Janot, and Anthony Maynard, and David Birch. And afterwards I was like, "Hey, everybody,
We're testing you.
I was like, "I'll keep touching me."
Sorry, Robin, we didn't know about consent back
But it's just wild to think, like, I remember like leaving the stage and being like, "I don't want to perform with people I don't know." And now I'm like here teaching improv and like so incredible. I didn't mean that to be mean to you guys. I was also brand new to improv and didn't know how to be like, "Let me initiate a scene." I was just like, "Okay, I guess we have sex." But like, just like what a wild journey through. Like, I was supposed to be in Omaha for 1 year and then go back to Oregon, where I belong. And that turned into 2 years, and then I kept finding excuses to stay. But the real reason I'm still in Omaha is because of the backline and the community here. And man, you can't just like do whatever you want anywhere. But here, you can. So thank you, Dylan, for all the trust and letting us just like have fun and make up shit and just start doing musical improv with no experience or training. And like now we're like, Matt and I are touring and doing festivals. Touring, we call it a tour. It's 2 festivals, but 2 different places. Yeah, but I just remember like even through the pandemic, it was like, oh, a bunch of us that just live alone. Well, I guess we are our only social contact that we're gonna have for a few months was just us on Fridays being like, "Hello" from 6 feet away, standing in this empty theater, doing improv via Zoom. Amazing that we've lasted this long. But I'm so glad you've been a part of it, and I'm glad to keep being a part of it. Maybe someday I'll go back to Oregon where I belong, but until then, thanks for having me.
Come on up, man. Get up.
Sinkhole, more like stinkhole. What a supportive community. So spoiler, I was in the first class and then I dipped. But this was a mile, no, it was a turning point. In '09, my dad had died. And, I was always a funny kid. Just couldn't be funny anymore. I had friends and I was going out, and I just found myself not even having anything to talk to people. I just had lost it. I lost the vivaciousness of life. And I was super depressed. And I knew I needed to do something. So I went on the Craigslist back pages to
I looked for a prostitute. Wouldn't do that. I would actually. And I found this fucking ad for improv. And I'm like, I don't. That shit is fun work. Yellow polo khaki. But, you know, it was just this ad. It's like improv level 1, something about SNL, something about. And I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. And I show up for the class in the studio gallery and go downstairs. And I'm like, this is fucking rock shit. It's just like fucking kind of raw. And Dylan was just this dude. And people, but like, you know, he'd come from LA and he had this sauce that he wanted to sling. And he wanted to like kind of show us, you know, comedy. And we had this first exercise. When you do a scene about having cancer, I want you to tell us about cancer. And I want you to right? He's like, okay, do it again, but tell me you are going to play. And I was like, look, you know, that's fucking cool, right? And it was funny and it was hitting. I was like, I like this, right? And I was like, oh man, I think I can do this. Right? And that wasn't the first class. I was like, I fucking drank it. I love that. I really love that. I don't understand. Dylan, such a good teacher, but also just a good community builder. I remember he gave me a DVD of Country for Old Men. You guys know this one? Yeah, so you know how to old men doesn't have a score, right? I put a score on it. Yes, that's fucking weird.
He still makes us watch it.
Yeah. Good. And hey, you know, I saw what he was building, and I really wanted to stay here. And I think I started, and I saw the community starting to build. You know, I'm from Denver. I lived in Nebraska from 10 to 24. Mom wanted to move back, and I just had a choice. And at the time, I wasn't really, I was still kind of, you know, I was doing a lot of drugs and drinking, and I was a little worried if Mama left, I would go off. And just actually, when I moved with her, and I would sober for 9 years. And I met a good community in sobriety. My first family is here. You guys, when I come back here, feel like when I moved to Denver, I felt just like you, because we're all kind of the same. We're all kind of people that feel vulnerable, and you know, we're funny, and we use that to be some type of protection. But like here, we get to use it, but like we don't need to protect ourselves because we're all part of the group. And so I found those people there, and I married one of them, and one of them, you know, a lot of them were in my wedding, and they're my best friends, and if I would have stayed here, that would have been all you, no doubt, right? And that's how I feel about it. I love you, dude. I love that you did this. My life would be completely different. I wouldn't be married to the same person. Right? I would not follow it. I wouldn't follow the same path. And I know that that's just like how it works. But you know, whenever I'm thinking about what should I do with my life, right? Look at what I've got to do. Right? Look at the connections I've got. And it makes me feel like I've lived a very good life. And I want to continue to do that, and I want to give back. So thank you guys so much.
My life's really fucking. I always say I'm fucking rolling with Rody, man. He says fucking go. I say rip it, rip it. Yeah, that's my dude. Who else want to go? Come on.
I've prepared 5 minutes. Dylan's shaking his head. He knows where this is going. I thought this was the music theme for the back line. A song by a Lincoln artist, Nixon, who performed at one of the live at the back lines. And once upon a time, Dylan didn't have a license to be able to play whatever the fuck he wanted, so that song came on after every show. And that was wonderful. 15 years. 15 years. That means we can still get fucked by Trump. Yeah, sorry, I'll pass that. I don't have a specific story, but so many of them out of this place. And this theater could burn down tonight. We would still have to people make it such a joint. Is there anyone here from the night someone had a seizure on the stage?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Who was that?
Are we supposed to call him out?
Do you no? That's. But I do remember because of that, someone else fainted, and it was just a chain reaction of oh fuck. That was wonderful. One time before there was a door there, I held the curtain open for with John Herman. Love John Herman, but he said, don't do that. And I immediately was like, okay, John. But later that year, there was the Omaha Comedy Fest. And Daniel Cameron, stand-up from Canada, was here. But his partner wasn't here. And Stacy Smith out of Chicago at the time came in, and I joined them for a wonderful little set where I was a bear at one point, and Stacy rode on my back. Whatever. It was stupid. It was fun. But then afterward, John Herman was like, "You're good." And I was like, "I did it!" But we all have our Lorne Michael, our Johnny Carson, and Dylan here, who I'm convinced did not want to open an improv theater. But he jumped on the grenade. That's serious. I think in Dylan's heart, he just wants to have fun like we do here. But someone has to put up with the bullshit of all of this. Fuck. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dylan. Yeah, so many memories, but that's how I was gonna end it. So.
Can I say something about John Herman real quick? Real quick, guys. A few things about John Herman.
Sit back down.
I'll be real quick. I never kissed a dude my whole life. He kissed me one time, we were partying. We did the bed solo couplings late at night. And all I talked and she was like, hey. And I was like, whoa. And then now I'm gay, it's okay, you know. You take me in.
You good?
Hey, the other thing I feel the same way that he did about being blessed by John Herman or whatever. One time I made John Herman so mad, he killed me. And I kept playing dead and he kept shooting me and killing me. Back to life, and when I started laughing uncontrollably, he was so mad. And I never can tell to this day whether he was actually mad or whether you know, I was actually dead or whatever. But I love John Herman and he's the best.
And hopefully wherever John Herman is out there, he heard that. I wanted to bring up, talking about how Dylan is reluctant in some of the roles that he has to play doing this shit. So it's the middle, it's the pandemic, it's the fucking riots. The riots are down this street. Like the night before, the fucking bodega's windows got smashed. I called Dylan and I'm like, what do we do? And he's like, just come on down. And so I come down here and he's like, we gotta board up these windows. We can't board up the windows. That's just the way the building's made. He's like, we're just gonna fucking hang out. He's like, we're gonna hang out in the building. He's like, are we even allowed to do that? He's like, we're gonna have water and Gatorade. And we're gonna say, and so like people just keep showing up because we're all fucking worried. We don't know what to do. Make sure everything. And then this fucking amazing moment, this guy walks in. He has 2 armloads of medical supplies. And he's like, hey, I heard this was like some kind of first aid station. Dylan, go. And I see it happening. I'm watching it real time, and I go, yeah, that's right, Block Captain Rowdy. Aid station. And he goes, all right, just put this milk in the fridge, because we thought milk would get rid of the tear gas. But, dude, right, dude. I respect everything, but man. Okay. All right, come on up, Jones.
Hey, I just wanted to, as a newcomer into this place, we started at 3. I'm in the music improv with Robin. Down here, I've been so welcomed by everyone in this community. And last night and this weekend, and seeing all the shows, meeting all these people has given me so much more inspiration and learning and meeting and hearing stories and watching, and it's just and already I just feel part of the family here. And being with Dylan and Robin, and they just are, it is a family. It's a family down here that I really want to be a part of. And I am a part of, and I'm becoming more of a part of. And I take a lot of pride in this place. And I told Dylan the other day just how happy I was just to be part of this community now. So, being a newer person on stage with the improv and everything else, I have so much to look forward to. And I have such a dream that's already starting to come true. And I just wanted to give a shout out as a newcomer. Thank you. Thank you all for just helping me get through all this. Not get through it all, but helping me ride the journey that I'm on. So, Dylan, happy birthday. This place is amazing. Thank you all.
Fucking cool new guy. The other day I came in and somebody was like, Jonas is saying how cool you are. So, I think Jonas is cool. About how many more people we got want to talk? Okay. All right. We got to make them a little bit short because we got to get this cake. Let's keep it running. Give it our
Okay, hello everyone. I'm a bit of a savvy person, so a lot of you have heard parts of these stories. But I'll just go into it. I moved to town 3 years ago. Okay, I'm a very savvy person over here. Yeah, I moved to town 3 years ago. Within a month, I showed up to Random Jam, not really knowing what that is. And Todd comes up and is like, okay. No, Todd comes up in typical Todd fashion and he's like, hey, welcome, You want to play? I'm like, I can do that. And so yeah, he throws me on a team. I jump on stage. I'm both the volcano and the virgin being thrown into the volcano, and it was a wonderful night. It was great. Two other about like beginning moments that I haven't talked about as much. I've been moving around for a long time before I got here, and hadn't had a community in a while. Hadn't really had people to go hang out with on a Friday night. And so I come to the shows, and people recognize me, but I haven't like hung out with anyone. I haven't kind of broken past that wall. And so I've already ordered my Uber, and we're all standing outside like we typically do after the shows. And I'm like, I want to talk to people, but I don't, like, I'm nervous to like say something. And then Danny Jablonski looks at me and goes, so what's your name again? And that was my intro into the conversation. And then I joined the conversation, and they're like, we're going to Mercury. You want to join? And then that was the first time I got to hang out with improv people. And I kind of started my journey in this community. So thank you for that moment. That's the story I'll tell with that. A month later, it's the first Omaha Comedy Fest that I was around for, and I managed to make it to the after party, and I feel very cool. I just kept having moments of awesome welcoming people saying, hey, you want to join? But one of the parts that night, we were at the Slowdown, and there was a big group of us in a circle. And I knew maybe 2 people, but they were all theater improv people, and we were just playing the like pass the object thing to the music on this dance floor. And I was looking around and it was like, I found my people. And like we were doing it for 30 minutes. In no other community can you just be with a group of adults that just for 30 minutes are entertained by just passing a fictional object throughout the dance floor. Yeah, I know it doesn't come across, but I actually do have a lot of social anxiety because I didn't have that community for so long. And when you go that long without a community, you get very invested in finding it. And so I'm just so grateful that I found it here. I'm so grateful for you, Dylan, for, as everyone has said, changing our lives, providing a thing that has set the path for our lives, because my life in Omaha would not be the same without him.
Get on ready, everybody.
Why don't I? Sorry, you're right. That I relate so much to that. I'm like already getting emotional. Check word. You still got it. The real object, breaking the rules.
Yeah.
I started comedy right after college. I started doing stand-up. And I was at a show at Studio Gallery. Dang, I should have brought my coffee up here. I stand up at a show at Studio Gallery. And there was an improv team that was just like shocked at how funny they were, how confident they were. So I signed up for an improv class at Backline, and it was just like incredible. I do stand up and improv, and I always like kind of go back and forth between the two, which one I focus on more. And the great thing about improv is just like the collaboration and the people that you're around. And through that you find community, and it's like so special. And I was like, I'm a huge perfectionist for a lot of my life, probably still am a little bit. And like the best thing that improv team taught me was just to not be afraid of failure, because you're gonna fail anyway, and then people will pick you back up. And that's so much of like what Backline represents. I really thought my voice was going to sound a lot cooler. I'm just like, I'm so emotional because this was where it all started, and that like not being afraid of failure has been huge for my whole life, and especially like making bold choices and not being passive. But I think of so many early improv shows where I wanted to do well because everyone was so interesting and creative around me. And you learn to do that, and you learn to make bold choices. And I think doing improv obviously was a huge reason that like gave me the confidence to move to New York and being like, you know what, you might fail, but you have to make choices like that. You have to make bold choices. You can't just like stay on the back line. And so I did that, but like I love coming back here and seeing how much it's grown. And everyone is so nice every time I come back. People are just like incredibly kind and supportive and talented. So whenever you leave the place, you are a little worried that it's gonna like, that it won't be the same when you come back, and it never is. But whenever I do come back, I'm just like so happy of what Dylan has made, and everyone here who's continuing to support it and invest in it and be part of it. It's like incredibly beautiful and such a special thing to be part of. And I never even lived in Omaha. I lived in Lincoln, and I was driving to 4 years in a row, but because of how incredible Backline is, I still think of Omaha as such a second home for me. And I love being here. And like, truly, everyone who is still part in Omaha, part of Backline, it's incredible. And thank you to Dylan so much for making this such a drama queen crying on stage. Okay.
What a fucking fun time. Give it up for Patrick Kilroy.
All right. Much like everybody else, I don't have anything prepared, so I did ask Mark and Justin that if I need to bail myself out and I banter with them. But just listening to everything today, I realized, I don't think anybody realizes how much of the original lurker I was. Having met Rachel Ware when we were in high school together doing Kings of the Rose, and then meeting Justin Edmonds through student government. When we were like 18.
Nerds.
No one disagrees with that. But one real through line I'm hearing here is just how much I think the people you got through, like the shutdown and just everything that was, it's like so ingrained in all of us now. And I'm just thinking back to Moist Bandits, literally is Moist Bandits, because we were still wearing masks when we were performing that for like 2 months we were doing that show. And just a lot of those things are coming back. I was on one of those team drunks where I tried to give myself a catchphrase, and it was capitalism, more like capitalism, am I right, lady? And it worked once.
Syllables to make that work right.
I got bad from there. I was also on the largest volleyball team. I do believe we were actually like 1 and 18 or something like that. There was only 5 of us that night. It was like you, me, Ashley, and Adam Brownell, and we did win. Yes, we won. It was like the 4th of July week where everybody else was camping. Yeah, well, sorry. But you still put forth a winning team. And
Sorry. Give it up for Brittany Matteo.
Guys, happy birthday, Dylan. Guys, this is, I have not thought it out, but I wanted to say that this is like a very special place. I've never met Annie, ever, which is weird, because y'all don't know each other. I was like, oh, you just set the magic apart. We were ships in the night, but I related a lot to that. My brother is in the second class in the dungeon. Second class in the dungeon. I only saw his show from the slutty version from far away. That was the only time I was ever in there. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. And I did it for a long time. And then he was like, that was fun. And then he got me a gift card for Christmas. And I was like, I was so nervous. And I was like, I'm a good student. I'm really good at school. And I remember being like, and I was just like, Dylan was like, business. And like, no one was talking, and I was so nervous, so sweaty. And I just like was like, I gotta come back, And I remember asking Dylan, I was like, what can I be watching? What can I be reading? Where can I be going? And I was so annoying. I know I was so annoying. I was like, I wanted like that's ever been close to anything I ever wanted to do. And I was like, this is here. Holy shit. How did you do this? And like, where did you come from? And I never asked any of those questions. I stayed very quiet, stayed very nervous. But Dylan was like, such a good teacher. And he was like, holy shit, in a way that I was like, oh my God, I am good at this. I'm doing this. I like being here, even though it's making me so nervous I want to throw up. And I kept going. And I kept going. I became an average person. I did a 4 average people. I got a presentation representing the average people. It's such a good time. I remember coming here and like being like just like nervous as always, like the energy I brought and the way that I was like, no one knows me, I'm very quiet, I don't know how to talk to people, I'm really awkward. And then like I had a bad breakup and my life went a different direction and I just hit that arena. We went 16 weeks or whatever, and that's like, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And then maybe sometime in the pandemic, I don't know, Dylan and I had a little mystic moment, and I went crazy. And I was like, Dylan, you are a vessel into, like you really are. You really are. Like, who in their right mind, like, goes forward to all these wonderful things, brings it back, boomerangs back to your hometown to provide an opportunity to fucking have fun and make it what you want. Like, so cool. You brought a vessel for that. And then just we sat and had this mystic moment. And he wrote, I was like, you know this. Oh, we talked about this. Dylan, this is your whole community. This is not like, this is someone from New York, someone from Chicago, someone you met in Nepal, wherever you met. Like, you go everywhere and you're such a gatherer and collector of people who work with people and you find, you find the gems in people. Like, I'm in a really weird headspace almost all the time. And you're always like, hey, you should hop on the show. And I was like, no, you should hop on the show. Like, you encourage that in everybody. I saw that as like not just like a teacher, but as a community person, you're always just like finding the good in people and connecting them in ways that like they need friendship, they need support, they want to get better in their art, they just want to have fun. Like you like have such a gift in like highlighting and lifting people up. And like it's so cool to see the change in this community go from like cool, I can't do it. Oh, everyone wants it. And you come and you watch, I'm like literally like you see people and you're like, they're so good, I'm so intimidated, how can I do that? And the softening that you've done to where everybody's like, you're really good, you're just learning, you want to get better, you're having fun, you're going through something. There's a space for everybody here and it's fun and welcoming and you've been able to like do this over time and like, it's not like, oh, it happens every now and then, it's like consistent. It's consistently getting warmer and better, and the talent is getting better, and people are having more fun. And this place is like thriving in ways that like, I don't know, it's beautiful. It's great. You're a great human. Like, I'm proud to be part of like building the festival with you because it's important for everyone in this room to be able to like see other folks get better, get that charge. Like every time there's like a weekend when every time Dylan hosts a weekend of something, I'm like, let's go to Jamaica. There's a fun person. It's like an inspiration jolt in a way that energizes people and connects people more. And goddamn, Dylan, like people, like I see you're working your ass off. This shit's hard. You're a great performer. You're a great teacher. You're fucking running a business. That shit's hard.
I was also supposed to tell everybody that this is being recorded, but if you want consent, cut it out. I'm supposed to do that a long time ago. If you want consent, cut out for any reason, just let us know, we'll get that taken care of. Let's bring up Nick Perry!
It's very tall. Thank you. I'll be really fast. I'm pretty new to the community. I'm an adolescent here, I guess. Not in any other way. I resonate so much with what so many other people have said, and I won't rehash that, but my husband and I have been going through some stuff with family and junk. We've been caregivers for a long time, and I was spending a lot of time making sure people's doctor's appointments were happening, and that everybody had diapers and things, and they were 40 years old. The dimensions of which. Work was really hard, and raising kids is hard. Although once your child finds their best roommate, you have to know that life gets better. Thanks for making sure my kid pays his rent. And I just needed a place where I wasn't taking care of everybody else. And I Googled improv and found the back line, and for 3 hours every Sunday, I just got to have fun. And people didn't ask me to do things for white mini butts. And it was really huge. And I stole the coasters that said let's have fun, or just have fun. I put them in my pocket to remind me for the rest of the week that I could have fun and I could enjoy things. And that there were times that were lighter. And I think third spaces really, really, really matter. And I think they're disappearing in the world. And I think that places that offer Thanksgiving for people who need someplace, and places that offer fun games and scavenger hunts and after parties after where everybody is welcome. I think it matters, and I think that it's something that is the thing that's going to make our community and lives better in a world that I'm seeing a lot of fascism and Nazis. I also see people just coming together and really building people up and always having a parachute, like Amy said. We fail and fuck up left and right, and everybody has a parachute for us. And I remember the first times that the alum would say, hey, good job, and how that felt and how it built me up. And I hope that I'm that person for anybody who's new. So thanks for what you created, because I think it's pretty dope.
Oh, yeah. Cake.
No, I'm gonna give them. We have a couple.
Really real short. So, hey, we got one left to speak. It's our dude. It's the guy. It's a fucking cold.
Thank you all. This feels like no one ever gets a chance to show to their own funeral. It feels like. Wow. Yeah. This was wild. When I was in Los Angeles, I was really getting tired of like being part of thousands of people doing the same thing. And there was like this huge sweep of New Yorkers who came over to LA because they found out there was money made in TV shows and commercials and shit. So like I was working my way up, and then it felt like I was going back down. I was like, fuck this. I gotta do something different. And I was like, you know what? All my favorite people taught, and I was like, I gotta do this at some point. Everyone that I loved had been doing it for 10 years. I was like, it's gonna take me a while. And when I said I was going back to Nebraska, I had 3 friends, but everyone else was like, you're fucking dumb. What the fuck are you doing over to Omaha, Nebraska? They thought I was just giving up, and it's really nice. That first class I taught, Tom shows up and he goes, I know this isn't like a thing, but when it comes to teaching, you got an A. I was like, oh, thanks. I'm glad that like it went well. I was like, this is my next one. That was the first class I ever taught. Like, you're hoping to teach, having no idea if I'd be any good. Yeah, I just wanted to mention a few things here, because also, like, it was Stu Next that I knew, Will Minen, and we found this place at Studio Gallery, because otherwise we were going to be at this talent agency, like, back room, and it probably would have gone really weird with Randy Nog. Things could have gone differently. A couple other things, like, so you probably heard me mention this a few times with Nate Bargatze calling no place the comedy or the Chuckle Dungeon. But when we first moved here, this place was empty, as you've seen in some of the pictures. And someone, it's funny that the new place is called the Warehouse, because someone's like, this place is like the Comedy Warehouse, but not in a good way. Giant open space, nothing there. And I even brought like 10 people in. I was like, you guys think this is a good idea, or am I fucking dumb? few people like Jimmy Putnam's like, don't do it. A few things like, I used to really love the meanest teachers, so I was even more strict when I started. Jess was like, you have to say nice things to people. So then I just started ending every scene going, great.
God.
Also, when I first checked out this place, the guy who showed it to me was like, you can also have the basement here. And I was like, are you kidding me? It's like 2 spaces in 1. When I came to sign the lease, they're like, oh, no. Basement. So that kind of sucks, but also it's so much better now for me, but it was fun. The Residence Inn one, where we were at the rooftop smoking that blunt. I don't know how many people here remember Alex Portillo, but we'd asked him to check IDs at the door, and he didn't let in, I believe it was Brian Husky, who was. We mean, have someone like go over to let Brian Husky in. Let's see here. Also, that studio gallery, by the way, was ran by Dave Janot and Will Minen, and also Joel Marsh from Nolly's, and one other person I can't remember. Yeah, Jeremy Wilkin, absolutely. And Dave did a lot of the painting that you see, like a lot of the signs. Let's see here. A couple of other things fast here. When we were at Studio Gallery and we did our first festival in 2013, I'd asked Craig Kikowski, who was my favorite teacher of all time, if he'd come, and he said yes. And I was like, oh, fuck. I just asked him to check it out, and I didn't think he'd say yes. And then when he said yes, we had 2 other great guests, and I was like, I can't fuck this up. So I quit my full-time job, and I was like, I'm gonna make this work. My first year, I made $8,000. And I maxed out all my credit cards. It was really dumb, but also it was great. But I did it. Sometimes you just gotta fucking do those things that people say are crazy, or even yourself, and trust your instincts. The community here, I'm so glad that people love it. When I was in LA, I spent my first years not doing shit. I was a kid from Nebraska who moved out there for acting and writing, and I just did a bunch of the dumbest things, like some college films and some weird low-budget shit. And it wasn't until I found improv that I was like, oh, the community feels so nice. It feels so helpful to feel like you belong to something and not just you're doing random shit. Every once in a while you find something. Community makes such a big deal, and that's something that I really want to bring into here. So, thank you very much for that. I think that's it here. I did have, I have 2 quick videos for people who couldn't be here. One is my mom. And then another one is Gretchen. I'm going to show that one real quick. And then a very, very short in memoriam. I know it's sad. It's just a couple minutes of 7 people lost in our community. So we're going to do that here. Thank you all very much. I'll play this video here in just a second. Thank you all very much.
Hi, it's me, Gretchen Franco. I took classes in like 2015, maybe sections 1, 2, 3, and 4, maybe 5. Did I go to 5? Anyways, these are the days before the balcony, before the bar, before the green room had a green room, and where the drink prices were suggestions on the fridge. I remember during one of our after-show festivities, hanging out with some absolutely brilliant people on some very, very bitter cold night in the middle of winter. We were in the upstairs basement and we played some delightfully difficult pun game that blew my mind. That's all I remember. Congratulations on 15 years. Wishing you many, many more years of success.
Also, she had this one really short
I found Metron in 2015 at a time when I was looking to find ways to think outside the box and loosen up. I took a few classes and realized I'm not falling natural. It's definitely a craft that takes time, energy, and lots of practice. What I know is that I met some amazing and brilliant people from the back and learned that laughter and trust goes a long way. Since then, I've introduced work teams and friends to their own improv potential by subjecting them to Dylan's masterful improv games. It's certainly a gift that they all still talk about and haze me for. Thank you, Backline, for all that you do for the art of laughter in our community.
Before I play this one for my mom real quick, she might have already had a drink before making this. She's a comfortable speaker sometimes, and apology. She also, you'll see, she wrote down part of it, the part where she had to know her name.
Well, first of all, my name is Raven Barker. Those who know me, I'm Dylan's mom. Wow, 15 years. Moving to larger location from 4965 it's been just going on. I just can't put words to it. It's been spectacular. You know, he's made so many fabulous renovations to it. And it's just made his dream come true. You know, I mean, he's gone through a couple co-owners, and he's back to himself now, where he owns it himself. He's got several teams that he's put through. He's got, you know, not only him, but the backline is teams. You know, you couldn't do it without people. People are this. People is background. You know, you've got so many people there that have been with Dylan through the years. It's hard. And I mean, I can't even put names because, you know, and Tyler and Tom, and you know, I can't even put names to all of them. Has been like, we've gone through COVID with the economy, and you know, his dream was for comedy into Omaha and watch it grow, and look how it's grown. You know, comedy's everywhere now. That was part of Dylan's dream, and it's happening. I'm happy. I'm very happy. Happy anniversary to me. Before I forget, I made a post. Real happy. Happy anniversary. And so I'm going to toast to the back. So, I love the back line, and I love it couldn't be happening without all of you.
Mom's number in my cell phone.
I love it when parents only know one of their kids.
Yeah.
In the talk, so many people talk.
There's no
Tyler Walsh.
Oh, God, no, no.
Not Todd and Tyler.
The other, oh, it's Todd and Tyler.
Thank you all very much. Thank you for being a part of this, and let's go have some cake, y'all.
Yeah. Oh, no. Helping her keep. Oh, yeah, yeah. But it was